So that's exactly what happens when you neglect your chopper and leave it outside for the last 3 to 5 years. I can't even hardly roll this bad boy. Let's see what she's got. No turning back now. All right, so you ready to do the walk around? Got another chopper while we kind of put the 69 drag car on the back burner. I figure we do something around here. And you guys know I love the choppers. I love saving cars, but I really love rescuing old bikes as well. And we came across this, I think it's a 2007 build. It's kind of like an old, I don't know, like one of those, it's not a fat tire bike, but it's kind of like a big tire bike, which, you know, those are cool, I guess, but I'm not really the biggest fan of a big tire bike. But anyway, it was just getting, I'll show you the walk around here, but you could just see it was rough. It's all complete, but it's just neglected. So let's see what we got here. See if we can't fire this bad boy up. If you look, every bolt's got rust in it all the way around. I could hardly push this thing because the brakes are all seized up in it. And got a nice S&S carb, I think. I see an S&S air cleaner, so I'm hoping it's an S&S carb. But, you know, it's an older build. You know, nothing too crazy. Like I said, it's a lot of billet. You know, you feel like you want to knock some of the 90s off the thing. But you could just see the corrosion around the signals and all the aluminum. That tells me it's been outside probably for about 3 to 5 years. And the girl I bought it from, it was her friends, her and her husband's friends, and he stopped riding it, left it here in the area. They got a hold of him, and he said, just sell it. Well, let's get her up on the jack first. Let's drop the fuel. And let's see if we could even get any gas down to the carb. Let's try to take the front brake. I may take it apart and just kind of loosen it up and put it back together. And we'll just kind of go from there. I have like some ideas I want to do with this bike, but everything's going to take time. So I may just try to get it running and driving now. We'll do a suicide clutch. That's a real easy thing to do. And we'll just see if we can't get her fired up and see what she sounds like. All right, let's do it. Damn, this motherfucker. Oh, a little better there. Make sure. And I've never felt like any of them were squirrely, but this one, man, this thing's heavy. First thing I'm going to do is see if this thing's even squirting well. I smelled the gas tank on it. It didn't smell. It was like right at that stage, you know, where you're not sure, but you definitely should probably change it. So that's what we'll do. We'll just, I just want to see if it's squirting at all. Because if it's squirting, then I know I ain't got to do no carb. Oh yeah, it is. Squirting fuel. So let's just drain the gas on it. I remember that last chopper I did with you guys. the jets were clogged in it. Oh yeah, we got some Tennessee tea right here. Come on, please. There, good Lord. Anyway, for trying to get into this game of, you know, run and drive, can we get it running after 30 years in the barn, you know, all that good stuff you seeing on all the YouTube these days, or most of it, well, a lot of it. Well, the good ones anyway are making 100,000 views. But it's the same for bikes. That's the first thing I do, is I always drain the gas and just work my way down. Usually gas is one of the biggest culprits. And then of course fire, and usually 9 times out of 10 leaks, or just, you know, probably getting air most of the time, but it's always spark and fuel. Those are always the big ones. Well, that's leaking. Now for suicide shift, a fan sent me these knobs on that last chopper I had here, and he was a day late and a hour short, but I'm still very appreciative. I put out on my Facebook that I needed, or on my, I think on my video, that I needed red shift knob, and it would match that bike really good. Well, I sold that bike, and then literally like 2 days later, these came in the mail. He gave me 2 of them, which I'm real appreciative. But I always told him I'm gonna use them on something else. Well, I'm always looking for choppers, and we're always looking for cars. No Name Nationals kind of kicked my butt, because all my time, and you guys know it, went into that 69 drag car. So now I'm kind of at a lull on that, waiting to do the transmission this week sometime. I think we're gonna do it. So I might as well, this chopper popped up. Anyway, short story long, enough rambling. We'll do a suicide shift, but we'll definitely put the red knob that I was sent by my buddy. I'm thinking something real nasty like this, sticking out. I like making my suicide shifts, like, I really love when they stick out, like they're way out here or something crazy, but they're not really that user friendly. I mean, it's a suicide, I keep saying suicide shift. I call it suicide shift, but the real term is suicide clutch. But anyway, let's just keep with the real term, suicide clutch. I like having them, you know, way out, but then they look kind of funky. And if you ride, like last time my daughter was riding, and I was real scared she was going to kick that shifter while we were doing about 65 down the interstate and throw it down in, you know, 5th to 4th. I don't know, that might hurt, might not, might be all right, who knows. But, so I try to keep them small, like right in the area. It all depends on where your leg goes too. You know, you want to, I always like to have it right behind my thigh, but we'll kind of just see where it falls. But anyway, we'll definitely use this time. These are pretty gnarly pipes. They look pretty good. They're cut off LAFs. You know what LAFs stand for, right? Loud as beep. Anyway, got some LAFs on it, and they look good. I think what I enjoy doing, this is just personal preference, I don't like a lot of chrome on my bike. I don't mind a couple pieces here and there, but you know, this is like 2001, 2000, you know, the OCC crap, kind of that style, that chopper crap that was coming out back then. It's kind of like that to me. And so what I like to do to break it up a little bit is I like to wrap my pipes. I don't know if you guys like wrap. Stuff's expensive. I'll try to buy it on Amazon, but you go to Advanced Auto, man, you're gonna pay to play. So, but I have some left over from the other chopper. So what we'll do is we'll try to get these pipes off. I'll clean them up a little bit, and then we'll wrap them and throw them back on and see what we got. Bike's almost together, back together. Still a few things I got to order. The handlebars are still coming. I got to run the switch for the headlight. No big deal. But now I feel like, well, we got the back fender on, all that stuff. I feel like we're kind of cruising now at, you know, slow and steady. So the most fun the thing I enjoy the most on doing these choppers is doing the suicide shifter. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take off the old linkage, and we'll see what I'm planning on doing here. I always come up with these crazy ideas. So usually I have to take the primary off, which is a pain in the butt because you got to pull off the clutches, the chain. Well, what I'm thinking this time, I may be able to get away with sliding a sleeve right over it, drilling a hole, and then catching a bolt through there. And then from there I could go and bend my shifter the way, you know, whatever feels naturally comfortable as you're sitting on the bike. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the old linkage. We'll slide this over, kind of get an idea of what we're doing, see if this is wide enough. I think it'll fit just fine. And then we'll go ahead and bend the shifter. Then from there, I got to come out with some crazy bracket contraption on this. My last bike, well, I've done this like two or three. I've done this probably 3 times now. A buddy of mine's bike who was a sniper, friend of mine, back in my Force Recon days. And we did his bike, suicide shift. And I did that last chopper you guys love so much, suicide shift. Oh no, I did 5 suicide shift bikes. And I had an old chopper back in my young days. And then now we'll do this one. So that's my 5th suicide shift. And every time I do them, I always got to come up with a weird bracket contraption to make it work. And it's not so much the lever. Usually that's pretty easy. It's to make it work to hold the cable, and then be able to use your foot shifter as now your clutch shifter. So anyway, I'll think of that as I sit in here and stare at this thing. But let's go ahead and pull off the old linkage, and let's go ahead and see if this sleeve will fit over, and we'll go from there. All right, we did it. Suicide shifter's on, and it's solid. Feels good. So I went to go start this thing for you guys, and the carburetor is not gummed up, but it's full of that old, you know, old fuel. You can see it looks like Tennessee tea. But I took it apart. Let me show you. So I took it off and basically, you know, just cleaned out the inside. We got lucky. There's no varnish gas in it or fuel. So I was just able to look through all the jets and, you know, throw some air through it. And, you know, I'll have to sit there with my torch tips and go through it on this one. Probably about another 6 months and it would have started gumming up. There's a couple places that look like, you know, it's a little bit, got the gummed up fuel, but nothing bad, especially in the jets. And so Carb cleaned it up. I'm going to put it back together. We're going to get it on, throw some fuel to it, and see what she does. Oh yeah, here we go. Problem is I can't control the dang thing. All right, guys, that about does it for this video. We'll do part 1, and then I'll do a part 2 whenever I get everything together, and we can take it for our first cruise with suicide clutch and all that stuff. But fired up, it wasn't too bad. You know, it started off real easy. I had no issues. And then towards the carburetor is when I just started running into a bunch of drama. I think I was getting tired, and I wanted to get it started for you. And just dropping crap and losing stuff. You know, my attention to detail skills, I don't know what happens. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're just... But anyway, what was this, '07, I think, 100 cubic inch Ultra engine, you know, left outside for like 3 to 5 years, and just was rotting away, and I just had to have it, you know. So like I said in the beginning, these bikes are just, it's a big tire bike, not my favorite, but you know, you pick them up cheap and you can just have fun with them, and you know, we'll see how good she goes. I think she'll get down. You know, it is a heavier bike though. So, I mean, it's got the big Ultra engine, but it's a heavy bike. So, I don't know. We'll see what she does. But she sounds good, and I think we woke her back up again, and we're ready to roll. So, let them rip, not rot. Keep on saving them. Don't send them to the crusher, and don't let them rot away either. So, until next time, we'll do part 2, and then we'll start on the back on the 69 this week doing the transmission. So, we'll get you some videos on that. All right. My name is Brad, Poor Boy's Garage. Good seeing you guys again. We're out.